This video is for class 8 physics on the topic liquid pressure. Although I have seen so many links of YouTube on this topic, so this will be the last video on this topic liquid pressure in a few parts actually. This is the part 1. So liquid pressure. Please refer your book if it is not clear on your screen. So the book reads as a solid exerts pressure on a surface due to its weight. So that means if we keep a solid on a table, it exerts pressure on the table because of its weight. If that object solid is weightless, then it will not exert pressure obviously. So and further it reads as similarly liquids also has weight, hence liquids also should exert pressure. So as the liquid doesn't have any shape, so it can exert pressure on the container. So they also exert pressure on the container in which they are kept. A solid exerts pressure only on the surface at its bottom. That means if you keep a solid on a table, it can exert pressure only on the table. But the liquids exert pressure not only on the surface of its container at the bottom, but also sideways, which is known as lateral pressure actually, that is in all directions. This can be demonstrated by the following activities. So I am going to the activity number 3 in your book. So the first one reads as a liquid exerts pressure at the bottom of its container. So that means if you read your book, if you take a tube, a hollow tube, okay, with both the ends open, and you tie a rubber balloon at one of the ends and pour some water from the other end, you'll observe that the balloon bulges because the water will go inside the balloon. Hence it proves that because of the weight of the water, it can exert pressure at the bottom of the container, right? It can exert pressure on the bottom of the container. So the conclusion is the water column exerts a pressure on the balloon. The force on the balloon is equal to the weight of the water column. That means the whole water is exerting the pressure on the balloon, not only that water which has gone into the balloon. So whole water is exerting pressure on the balloon because of its weight, which is called the thrust. If W is the weight of the water column and A is the area of the mouth of the balloon, then the pressure on the balloon will be thrust by area, which is W upon A. So I hope you have watched those videos which I have already sent to you. So you'll understand this portion. You'll understand this portion only after that. You'll understand this portion. Pressure equals to thrust upon area, which is W upon A. You can understand this portion only after that. So if I go to the next slide, the next slide is activity number 4. Please refer your book again. A liquid exerts pressure sideways also on the walls of a container. Okay, a liquid can exert pressure on the sides of the container, as we have as you have read in the first paragraph of the liquid pressure. So if you take a container, a special one. Why special one? Because you see it has opening here, and in that opening a balloon is attached, and you pour some water in that container. What you'll observe is the balloon bulges again. Okay, why will the balloon bulge? Because water has flown in the balloon. Since water can flow, hence water exerts pressure at the sides of the container also. Or you can do this experiment by filling a empty container and pierce some hole in it. So what will happen? The water will flow out from the hole. Why? Because the water can flow and it is coming out with some pressure, which proves that water can exert, or any liquid can exert pressure on the walls of the container. Okay, so then activity 5, a liquid exerts pressure in all the directions. Okay, uh, you take a plastic mug and water in a bucket. Invert the mug such that the opening part is facing the water and the closed part, the bottom of the mug, is facing you, and try to press it so as to immerse the mug into water. You'll experience an upward push on your hand. This is because of the pressure exerted by water in the upward direction, which you have studied in the previous chapter. It was called upthrust. Thus liquids exert pressure in upward direction also. Okay, the continuation of this activity. Next slide. Take a balloon filled with water, tie its mouth, make holes in it by inserting a pin at several places in all the directions. You'll notice that water flows out through each hole, irrespective of where you have made the hole. This shows that water in the balloon exerts pressure in all the directions. So this